spokesperson Bobby T.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And can I join the Leader of the House in congratulating the Deputy Speakers on their birthday and also in the celebration of our armed forces. Earlier this year, when the Secretary of State announced the welfare reform, she made the argument to this House that it was all about getting people back into work. I think that argument was undermined somewhat by the timing, with the spring statement coming the following week, and we discovered that the £5 billion saving that we achieved from these welfare reforms makes up fully half of the fiscal headroom that the Chancellor is relying on. And when we take a closer look at the reforms, we find that most of those savings are generated by changing eligibility criteria for personal independence payment, or PIP. Now, this is an entitlement that is given to those in work, given to those out of work, and given to those unable to work. And so it follows that many of those that stand to lose out from these reforms will not be incentivised into work because they will already be in work or will be unable to join the workforce anytime soon. And so it is no wonder that when the bill was published last week, that there was condemnation from all sides of this House. If the books need to be balanced, we need to make sure they are not balanced on the backs of the disabled. Now, the Leader of the House will be well aware of all the rumours circulating around this place that the government's preparing to make concessions on this bill. And so I'd like to ask her what the procedure for doing so would that be, because if there's a reasoned amendment laid down, then we understand that that would kill the bill off entirely. So what are the options for the government to make concessions? Will they have to withdraw the bill and re-present it? Or is there some other mechanism that they're able to make compromises with their backbenchers before next week?
Well, can I welcome him to his place today? He's done a very good job of standing in for his excellent colleague, the member for Chelmsford, who I enjoy working with as well. Look, he's absolutely right. The reform to the welfare system has to be done in a compassionate and carefully managed way. I'm sure that he would also agree that the system does itself need reform. And we are really clear that we have to make sure that the personal independence payment system, which is absolutely right, is not an out of work benefit. It is a benefit that helps to support disabled people with their living needs. We have to ensure that that is sustainable for the long term and is there for those who need it most. We are listening, as I've just said, closely to colleagues across the House, and I'm sure that will involve members from his party as well, who have a lot of experience in dealing with these PIP assessments process. And for too long, I'm sure we can all recognise it's been a box-ticking, degrading process that's not been fit for purpose, and that's why we've been reviewing that and listening closely to colleagues. And we do want to get this right for disabled people and for their carers and others as well. He asked about the parliamentary process. I have to say, as Leader of the House that's responsible for legislation across the piece, I struggle to think of many government bills that we have brought in this session that haven't been amended during their process. Most bills are amended, and those amendments come committee stage and report stage, usually in the process, and I'm sure that this bill will be considered in the usual way through its parliamentary process.